So I am sitting here with the infamous KRISTY Marsh from Keller Williams Real Estate. And KRISTY and I got to know each other, what, about 6 months ago?
I'd say, yeah, close
Yep.
to that. Yeah.
We did a closing together and it went really, really smoothly. And ever since then, we have decided to team up and do some things together to support one another and all that. And so, KRISTY, how long have you been actually in the real estate business?
I was licensed in August 2020.
So very okay. So
An
during the
interesting time,
yep,
yes.
yep.
So
And you were with Keller Williams at that time,
I
or
started with Keller Williams.
okay,
Yes. Yeah.
okay. And so
Still there.
you're still there. Yep, I see that. I see that, which is a great company. I love Keller
Yes.
Williams. And so what do you think about this market that we're in right now?
It's a shifting market for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think it's kind of a good thing because there's more opportunity, especially for buyers,
Yep,
more inventory, not as much competition.
yep,
So from the buyer side, it's definitely great. And we're still in the seller's market.
yeah.
So
So you think people are still going to be really fluctuating into Florida? You think we're still seeing that in the influx?
I do. And experts agree too. So,
So what are they saying?
well, everybody is hearing the media talk about a housing crash, and really the experts are saying that's not on the horizon.
Yeah.
So, especially in certain markets like ours,
Right.
we're really lucky here.
And why do you think that is here?
Well, it's Florida.
Right.
We are the Sunshine State, but we have a lot to offer. We do, but you get more bang for your buck
Yeah.
in this market.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think that's a big thing because, well, really since the pandemic, with really all the people moving here from out different states and all that, obviously we have good weather with the exception of Ian that just kind of went through and
Yes.
gave us a bad name for this year. But I mean, I think that we're seeing just still a big influx of people coming in from all different parts of the country. And
Definitely.
and I think that for the first time, probably in the last 2 years, we have some inventory that we didn't have there for a while.
We do.
So, which is a good thing. Is a good thing. And we're starting to see sellers, give a little bit as far as concessions, things like that. So it's going to open up that buyer's pool,
For sure.
think, a lot more. So we're trying to come up. One of the reasons why I like to do this session with some of the agents, number one, is to kind of highlight you, spotlight you, so people get to know who you are in our community here. But also to kind of get your take on what's happening out there in the real estate market, and maybe what lenders can do to maybe help you do your job better, or to maybe assist buyers differently than what we've seen in the last couple of years. And so with all that being said, do you see like different programs being maybe something that you haven't seen in the last 2 years really starting to come out?
There's a lot of great programs. One that I've been working a lot with lately is Hometown Heroes.
Okay.
Which is a great down payment assistance program that helps people in all different kinds of hero professions. The military, medical, just teachers.
First-time responders,
First
teachers.
responders, yes, which is excellent. Gives them a lot of opportunity to purchase their first home.
Yeah,
which is great.
And so I'm glad you brought that up because one of the things that we're working on together is a Hometown Heroes seminar, right, in January. And it is such a great product that really does recognize our heroes in the community.
Yes, definitely.
And a lot of people have heard about it, but they don't really know much about it. So from your standpoint on the agent side, there is no negative for the seller if someone goes Hometown Heroes, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so there's no
benefits everybody.
Yeah, so there's no issue that the seller has to worry about assisting with anything when it comes to Hometown Heroes.
No, ma'am.
Yep. So for those of you that don't know much about Hometown Heroes, I mean, as KRISTY was saying, it is definitely for our heroes, our first-time responders. And how it helps is it allows them to get up to 5% of the purchase price to be used towards their down payment, closing costs. So it does allow some affordability options for these clients that maybe don't have the funds that they need, and it's a good product because it's available for every product: USDA, FHA,
Yes, so
VA,
everybody
all
can
of them.
yes,
Yes.
which is just fantastic.
So that's the one thing that we really haven't seen in the last 2 years. Um, the buyers were kind of in the back seat, and now they're, it's a good thing because now they're kind of moving forward into the driver's seat, where there's going to be opportunity for them that they really didn't have over the last couple of years,
especially for the buyers that don't have a lot of cash.
Yeah, and most first time buyers don't.
Right, exactly.
Right.
I know I didn't.
Nope.
So.
and I didn't either. I mean,
Right.
so we all and I wish I would have had that program back then, but I didn't. So, but yeah, but if they don't qualify, just so we have that out there. I mean, there are so many down payment assistance programs that are available.
So many great programs
that are grants, and that if they don't qualify because of the profession that they're in, there are other types of bond programs that are available that also are down payment assistance programs. So tell me what, as far as, do you see more government loans happening right now?
I do. There's still a lot of conventional loans happening right now, though.
But your sellers really weren't taking government loans
the
last couple of years, right?
so that's the big difference,
right,
is that now buyers have more negotiating power.
Yeah. So I think I was looking at a report the other day, and just for prime lending directly, our percentage of government funding over the last 2 months have gone up to almost 40%. So where that was 6 months ago was like 15%. So that's telling me a lot about our market. It's telling me that it's becoming, because the rates are higher right now too, there's a lot more flexibility in some of these government programs. Definitely. So it's giving us an opportunity to reach out to some of those buyers that may have missed the boat, even with the prices being so high.
And for no other reason other than their loan being a government loan, they're still great buyers.
Yeah,
still great programs.
They are. They are.
Yeah.
So what did you do before you were in real estate?
A lot of different things. Yeah. I've always been in customer service, though. So I worked in the medical field. I worked in a salon.
It's funny. We had someone in here yesterday that also had come from the medical sales side. So were you selling on the medical side?
No. Well, I was a medical assistant supervisor for a GI office in the Villages for 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. So I know what they do there.
Yeah. So most of my friends are nurses. So that's
excellent.
Another reason why I
love the Hometown Heroes.
Up about this Hometown Heroes.
Perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
Why did you get into real estate?
I just think I've always been interested in real estate. And then the 8-week shutdown that we had in 2020 gave me the time to go to school for it. So
is that really when you started thinking about getting into it? Was because of COVID?
Yeah, well,
the shutdown.
I had wanted to previously, but I'm a busy mom and I had a full-time job and I didn't have the time to devote to the class. So and then all of a sudden I did. We all had some time on our hands.
So tell me about Keller Williams.
I love Keller Williams. Just the culture there is amazing. Everybody wants to help everybody. Everybody wants everybody else to succeed, and it really shows in how we treat each other.
I've heard that about. I mean, I see it with a lot of the training options that they give people, and I see a big training opportunity with Keller Williams. That everybody does a lot of internal training classes and stuff, but they really devote.
They do. There's classes every day if you want, and you learn something new every time you go.
Yep.
And their technology is astounding. So anything you want, you have at your fingertips with Keller Williams.
Are you doing a lot of listings right now, or are you more?
I have listings right now, more listings than buyers right now. Yes,
for
sure.
So that's a good thing, right?
Yes, definitely.
So there is more inventory happening, and I'm sure Keller Williams with the brand name helps a lot with your.
They do. We are the largest real estate company in the world, actually.
So that's huge.
We're syndicated all over the globe.
Okay. Okay. And you have 2 boys?
I do have 2 boys. A 15-year-old. Well, he'll be 16 next month. I can't believe it.
Is he driving yet?
Yes, he's had his permit for the year, so he'll be getting his license.
How scary is that?
It's horrifying, but it's the second time I've done it.
Okay.
So his brother is 18.
Okay.
Just graduated this year. So.
Now, what's he going to do?
Well, actually, that's a little up in the air.
Okay. I had a daughter that was the same way. It was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? When she was 24. So, so
it's a big decision to make at 18.
Yep.
He's doing really well right now,
Is he
saving
working?
up for his own house.
Yeah.
So.
Is he working?
He is. He works at Longhorn,
Oh,
actually.
okay. One of my favorite
Yeah.
restaurants.
He's
Okay.
doing
All
really
right.
well there.
And
So.
does he have any plans of what he wants to do?
He really, right now, he would like to go in with this company his friend owns, where he'll be, um, they do countertops.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I don't know the name of
like a cabinet maker? Or...
Yeah, they do the countertops, not so much the cabinets, but they go in and they reconfigure everything and
cool.
take
Well,
all
that's
the
a good
measurements.
business in
And
today's world. Yeah, I mean, lots
yeah.
that kind of real estate oriented.
It is. It is.
And you're married? And how long you've been married?
I've been married for 19 years.
That's a good thing. I mean, it's getting harder and harder nowadays to hear those years.
It is.
Yeah. And what does he do?
He's general manager for First Watch in the Villages.
Oh, one of my other favorite restaurants.
Yeah.
So do you get a lot of, so you were over in the Villages, right?
I was, yes.
So do you ever try to market to the Village?
I do. I love working in the Villages. Yeah. A lot of interesting people over there. Actually, one of my listings right now is in Stonecrest.
Oh, okay. So yeah, because I do a lot of business in the 55 plus communities, and it's just a different.
We have a lot of that to offer here.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Well, let's see. What else? Anything that you can think of that maybe would be something that if you had a wish list for our business right now in real estate, what are, or maybe even like from a lender standpoint, is there anything that you can think of that lenders can do that maybe could co-partner with you or do things that can help you with your buyers? And do you see a lot of partnership right now with real estate? I mean, with lenders?
Well, I do, and I think that's what's super important, especially for clients, buyers and sellers, is to partner with a real estate professional who has good relationships with good local lenders like yourself.
Thank you. Yeah. And that's really kind of what, we have been talking about probably for the last, I don't know, a couple of years, is just that local presence. So whether it's an agent, I mean, I see, to this day, I don't really understand why a buyer here in this market would want to use an agent that's not in this market, but I see it every now and then. But I feel the same way about lenders too, because there is a lot to be said about not only your agent understanding, the market that you're buying in, but also the lender, with their vendors, the appraisers, the surveyors, anything that can make that process go so smooth is, and really supporting our community with local presence.
Absolutely. And having somebody that cares. I think that's what you're missing when you are calling or on the internet and you're a number.
Yeah. Or a huge company that I have one right now that was supposed to close tomorrow. My buyer's ready to go. We're good to go. But her buyer is working with a very large company, and they're not ready, and they won't be ready for another 2 weeks. And they've had it the same amount of time.
As much to them.
And so the bigger they are, they have a process. You usually don't ever have the same person that you're talking to twice, So, but it is sometimes the ship is so big you can't turn it. So it doesn't matter that there's issues that are coming up that, my buyer, their seller didn't really want to extend the loan, and it really wasn't the situation of the buyer, and I can't tell you how many times I run into that on a monthly basis where either one, the out-of-state lender, their appraisers came from somewhere that have no idea, especially like over in the Villages, things like that. It's a very unique market, but if they don't understand it, I mean, they don't appraise it right,
Right.
So, and so there are all kinds of things that I think from a local standpoint for lenders and for agents that really, if I were a buyer today or I were a seller, I certainly wouldn't want to consider using anyone that didn't understand my market and what I'm trying to do here.
Absolutely. And I think what it boils down to is just relationships.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what there is nothing, there's nothing that you can deny when it comes to relationship selling that doesn't help build and make that process go so much smoother.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the seminar that's coming up in January. So tell me again what day
it's the 14th and the 19th of January, which is a Thursday and a Saturday from 11 to 1.
Okay, and you're going to have it where?
At the local library here, the Marion County Library.
Okay. And anyone's invited?
Anyone's invited. Yes, absolutely. Anybody can come. This is specific to the Hometown Heroes program.
Okay.
So, of course, any of our local heroes from any of the aspects, the teachers, medical staff, massage therapy.
Yes.
You know,
the firemen, the police.
Firemen, police. Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. All of it, all of the above.
And can I just add too, the veterans too?
Oh,
so
yes, veterans.
Yeah. So
and not even just active duty.
They can be retired.
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
which is the only profession that's within that program that you don't have to be active.
Yes.
So that's a cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can tell you, you know, a lot of people, like I said, they know about the program, but they're not really closing them. So everybody's heard of it. Yes. But you want to, you know, definitely work with someone that's actually closing them and understands the process, because it is a down payment assistance program. So there are some quirks that you have to kind of and but I mean, how cool is it that we can offer our local community, because it's a Florida program, it's not available nationwide. So we are so fortunate that it happened in Florida, that we're able to offer, you know, and it's community driven, and we're able to give back something that to these people who give every single day.
Yes, that sacrifice so much for us, you know, especially the last 2 years. I really think it's important to recognize these people that put themselves out there when the rest of us were at home.
Yeah. And it's you know, my daughter, who is an RN over in Tampa, and you know, she's in the process right now thinking about purchasing a home and all that. And you know, I went over it with her, and you know, 5% of a purchase price is a lot of money.
It is.
You know, so as opposed to a lot of down payment programs, you know, they're maxed out at 10,000. So, you know, if you have a $300,000 house, what is that, 25,000?
Yes.
I don't know. Is it?
Math, right?
I have to sit there and figure it out too. I'm trying to remember. Is that right?
300,000.
15. Is it? Yeah, 15,000.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
I'm a banker. I'm in finance. I can't do that in my head.
Me either.
But that's a lot of. I mean, that's right. That's a lot of money to be used towards that. So we're so great, and it's not forever. So I mean, well, it is hopefully going to be forever, but it's a fund. So as it's being used, you know, the funds dissipate a little bit. So we want to make sure that everybody who's interested and can get into it takes advantage of it while we can.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So what do you see happening next year?
You know, I think the rates are going to be a little bit better next year, actually. I was just reading this morning, the experts are, you know, we're not in a recession right now.
Right.
But most of them are saying that we're probably going to be soon, and that it's not going to be a long one, probably about a year long, and it's going to be soft.
Okay.
But historically,
and what does that mean what do you think that means for buyers and sellers?
Well, I think historically the last 6 recessions we've seen drops in the interest rate. So I think that we'll be seeing that, and I think that's going to make a lot of buyers jump back into the pool.
I hope so, because you know, one of the things I was saying the other day was people don't realize how much real estate dictates our economy and how much it impacts it. So, you know, on a positive note, you know, again, because I think we're still going to have people coming into our state. People still want to move here because of the weather and, you know, just no income taxes, you know, and stuff like that. So we're always going to have an opportunity to have people wanting to live here, just like they want to go to California and they want to go out west. It's the weather, you know, that's really what drives them, but also not having those high taxes from the income standpoint. But I honestly feel like the government has to take notice that real estate drives a large piece of our economy.
Oh, they know, which is why they jumped to that first, and why we've seen the rates fluctuate so fast.
Yes,
in such a short amount of time, is because that's what they were doing, and it works.
Well, people aren't buying as much as they were, and they're holding on to their money a little bit tighter right now. So yeah, so you're thinking that we are going to definitely have the recession next year?
I mean, that's what the expert. I'm not a great predictor of these things, but that's what the experts are saying.
So how will that affect us, do you think, as far as our business?
Our business, you know, real estate is going to continue to flourish, I think, in this area. So I think we're going to be doing fine no matter what. Purchasing real estate is still the best defense against.
Did you forget what?
I did. I just forgot my words there for a second. But
well,
it's a great investment.
It is, obviously, from an equity standpoint.
Against inflation.
Yes. Yeah,
my word.
there
Thank
you go. Okay. Well, I can tell you that I've been doing this for about 30 years. I've seen probably 4 to 5 of these cycles that have gone through. And if it's any consolation, since you're new into the business, I'll tell you, um, typically, if you can figure out, what your piece of this market is going to be and what your niche is going to be, and what commitment you're going to put into your business, you can actually do better in a downturn market than you can
I
in a
believe
yeah.
that. Absolutely.
And there will be people that will exit and they'll get out of the business. And there's an old Russian, not to be Russian oriented, but there's an old Russian statement that is mushvika. And basically it means more for me, less for you, because if they leave, it's more for me.
Absolutely.
So I think we're going to see if somebody, and I was actually at a meeting recently, and they were talking about the difference in the amount of sales over the last couple of years versus what we anticipate for next year. And what it will force, what they're saying, what I'm hearing is that it's going to force a third, whether it be agents or lenders, out of the market, because we can't all fight for the same deal.
Yes,
we can't the same customer.
It'll be the agents that are doing this part-time and not fully committed that jump ship, and that's okay.
Yep. Well, we were talking about this earlier, how, prime lending, our motto here is heart and hustle. That's just what we do. Yes. So we believe that, you get out of everything what you put into it.
100%.
And so I think that we just like us today, we went to a function together over it for a charity event. And I think we have to be so present and we have to be so visible and so relevant in our community. And that's what's going to help sustain the agents.
Those relationships, yes. Not just with our clients and customers, but with each other.
With each other. And the networking has to be continuing, and you have to just really put yourself out there. And a lot of it's getting outside your comfort zone, and doing things that we didn't have to do over the last couple of years, me included. I mean, I haven't had to get out there and do open houses, in 3 years. And guess what? Every weekend for the last 6 weeks, I've been doing open houses.
Yes,
so
me too.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? It's funny. I was telling someone the other day that, buyers, they were buying virtually. They were buying sight unseen. They were doing all these weird things that
we were doing those virtual tours.
Yeah. And everybody would go, how can you buy a house that you've never seen?
But they had to.
They had to. But the other thing was, how cool is it that the agents could go in there and literally let them see and live and breathe every room that they were walking through and get an idea. But now, when we first started doing the open houses, recently, nobody was showing up because they hadn't heard of an open house in so many years that the buyers weren't coming out to them. So now they're starting to show up.
They are. My last couple have been really busy.
And they actually say, "Oh my gosh, I love being able to come in and see the house now." And you still get a lot of lookies, and you get a lot of neighbors that are coming by wanting to see what their neighbor's house looked like, but that's okay. But I mean, that's kind of where I was going with it, is that we're doing things today that we have always done in the past, but didn't have to do for the last couple of years.
Didn't have to, but couldn't do.
And we couldn't do it. And we couldn't do it. Yeah.
And I love that part of it. I love getting out there and meeting the people in my community.
Me too. I do too. It is so much fun to sit there and talk to the people when they walk in, and hear their story, and they get to know it. But you can really tell that they're starting to see that our real estate, the way that we do real estate, is going kind of back to the original way of doing real estate. So that, I think it's different. I think I don't know if it's better or worse, but it's definitely going back to the way it used to be, where people can touch it and see it. And I mean, I can remember when COVID first happened, and you couldn't walk in a house, and people were wearing the shoes and they were wearing the mask, and the sellers didn't want people walking through their houses, And
everybody was so nervous. I think it's better. I think this way is better, and I think that it puts us more present in our community.
So, KRISTY, let's talk about some of the deals that are out there, and kind of what, we have a mutual client right now.
We do. It's going to closing.
Yeah, he's in closing as of today. They're in closing as of today. That was not an easy loan.
It was tough.
Yep.
And they are in the same boat as so many people right now with rising rent.
Yep.
And, we keep hearing about the interest rates rising. Those will go back down. So we always say, date the rate and marry your home, right?
Yep.
But what's not going to go down is the rents. They're going to keep going up.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
That is what it is.
Yep. So this particular client, let's talk about him a little bit, because I think that is something that a lot of, especially first-time home buyers, and they were, need to understand that not everybody has 20% down.
Yes.
Not everybody, has perfect credit. Not everybody has a bank account full of money, right?
Yes.
So this customer, which is we're so proud to do, is a veteran.
Yes, he
is. And he did not go through Hometown Heroes.
He did not,
because he couldn't. But because there was some not credit qualifying, but income qualifying, they made a good amount of money.
Yes.
So, but he didn't have a lot of money to work with. So he was a veteran, which for VA we can go 100% financing, which is a great benefit for a well-earned individual. But you were able to negotiate a lot for this customer.
We were able to get the full 4% in seller concessions to go towards the buyer's closing costs, which is super important.
Prepaids, right?
And prepaids,
right.
Yes.
So his insurance costs, all of his closing fees, all that.
Yes.
You got 100%.
Yes.
The maximum 4% for this particular buyer, and this buyer came to closing with how much money?
Then he's actually getting money back.
He's actually getting money back because he paid for his appraisal up front. So he's getting some money back. So how cool is that you have somebody that's actually buying a house that is getting some money back at closing, but really had zero money into this transaction.
So cool.
And that,
so happy to do that for them.
I know.
Especially before the holidays.
I know. And they're going to be in their house for Thanksgiving. And it's so cool. But and that is really from a first-time home buyer standpoint. I just want to make sure they understand that every deal is not beautiful. It's not perfect. It's not, sometimes they're not always real pretty, but they can get done still. So they should absolutely still talk to their agent, talk to their lender, make sure that if there's any opportunity for them to get into that house, even with zero money into it, and I mean zero, there is a chance.
And just stop listening to the media. And be educated by a local expert in the market.
Perfect. Well, I think that we are going to have a lot of positive impact with each other
in
2023.
Definitely.
I'm excited to work with you, and I know that I'm certainly here to support you any way I can, and get you those pre-approvals as quickly as I can, and get those loans closed for you. And I wish you so much success in the rest of this year. But I know next year's going to rock it.
Me too.
Well, congratulations on getting under the table.
Congratulations to you.
And thanks for doing this with me today and letting everybody get to know who KRISTY MARSH is with Keller Williams.
That's right. Thanks for having me.
Of course, it's my pleasure.